right, if you're the chairman of Microsoft, where are you putting your money? John Thompson is the chairman of Microsoft, and Bipul Sinha is the CEO of Rubrik, a cloud-based data company that John has taken a sizable personal investment in. We welcome them both. Guys, great to have you both. John, I'll kick it off with you because we posed the question, why this company? What caught your attention?
Well, in the tech industry, as we all know, about every 7 to 10 years, there's an opportunity for an inflection point or a change. And the whole data storage, backup, and recovery business really hasn't gone through a major change over the last 10 years. And so what Bipul and his team are doing are amazing, amazing ideas and a great team. And so it was worthy of me putting a little money behind that to see if we can't help them in some way.
And Bipul, you have a great... Go ahead.
What we have done at Rubrik is to look at the cloud companies, the consumer companies, and get inspiration from Google and Facebook and bring web-scale technology to enterprise, to an area which has not seen, as John was saying, any innovation for the last 10, 15 years. So we saw a large opportunity to go and change the landscape.
Now, Bipul, you have an amazing track record. You're from Lightspeed Ventures, and a lot of your team are from, in fact, Facebook and Google. I'm wondering here, in terms of who do you disrupt? Because it's interesting that Microsoft is in the cloud area. John Thompson is the chairman of Microsoft. Are you, in fact, also disrupting Microsoft?
So we are in
No.
we are in the backup and recovery space. And if you look at traditional solution provider in this space are Commvault and EMC and Symantec. And if you look at the technology that is out there in the marketplace, they show their age because these things were invented 10, 15, 20 years ago. And what we are doing is like creative destruction. What Silicon Valley stands for is renewal of this particular market, this particular segment with newer technology from web scale world bringing into the enterprise.
Yeah, another way to think about it is the last disruptive technology shift that occurred in the backup and recovery business was about 10 years ago when Commvault entered the marketplace. Prior to that, EMC, Symantec, IBM, a host of larger companies had been around for 20 or 30 years doing various backup and recovery procedures, if you will. And so this market is ripe for a change yet one more time. And I think the team and the technology ideas that they have are very much in vogue with this notion of on-prem and cloud-based capabilities.
Sure.
And so I'm quite impressed with what they're doing.
Bipul, where are you in the life cycle of your company? Would you see going public at some point? I mean, it's interesting that John had mentioned Commvault because that is constantly talked about as a takeover target. And here you have the backing of the chairman of Microsoft, which is in a cloud business. And some people might draw some conclusions that there could be a future tie-up between you guys.
So we have an ambition to build a large public company. This is a very large market. If you look at the backup and recovery market, it's north of $10 billion market. And we started the company about 2 years ago. We have a product in the market. There's a lot of interest and excitement in the customer base, in the ecosystem about what we are doing and how we are changing the landscape and simplifying backup and recovery products. So we see that in the next 4 to 5 years, there's an opportunity to go public and build a long-term large business.
And John, is that where you see it going?
Yeah, you should separate what I do at Microsoft with my venture investment portfolio. I probably have 15 or 20 investments in small companies like this one, where I think they do represent change in a powerful, powerful way. But it has nothing to do with Microsoft. It's more about my real day job as opposed to my weekend job that I have at Microsoft as the chairman there.
All right, let's talk about your weekend job, John, and that would be as chairman of Microsoft. You know, there's been a lot of concerns lately about tech companies in China, the exposure they have in China. The Fed had mentioned today that they believe the China impact is, in fact, temporary. What are you seeing on the ground in terms of how business is in China?
Well, business for us in China has been difficult, make no mistake about it, and it has a lot to do with the Chinese government and its view of wanting to crack, if you will, these large companies with substantial revenue streams in the country. So it's not just about Microsoft. It's about Google and a whole host of other large tech companies as well. But business has been tough, and hopefully with the discussions that we're having with the Chinese government, there's an opportunity to change that in the near future, we hope.
All right, John and Bipul, thanks so much for your time. And John, I hope we get a bigger peek into your investment portfolio. Your weekday
Anytime.
jobs.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Okay.